Do you struggle with being organized at school? Are you the parent of a middle schooler or high schooler who is really having a hard time adjusting to the school environment and the demands put on them to be organized? Well, you're in luck because today we are going to continue and conclude our four-part series on being organized so that you could succeed at school here on Get Organized with Jodi. Hi, I'm Jodi Granock. I'm a certified professional organizer with over 15 years in the field, and I have worked with a lot of middle school and high school students on this very topic, how to be successful at school. I hope that you've been following our four-part video series. We began by talking about how to organize your school supplies as far as how to keep track of your paperwork and your notes. That was part one. Part two, we talked about organizing your backpacks and your locker. And in our last video, which the link is up here in the right corner, we talked about the importance of time management and how to use a planner. So if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and do that, or any of the first three videos. But for this video, we are going to focus on homework and good study habits. So we're going to start with one of my favorite study tips, and that is to break a large project into smaller steps. So one of the areas where I see students struggle is the idea that as we get older in school, we are asked to do papers that get longer and longer the older we get. And this could be really hard for students to understand how to plan for a larger project like this, because it's not going to cut it if you say, okay, I have a 5-page paper and it's due in 2 weeks, for you to just write in your planner the day before, okay, don't forget to write this paper. So what I like to tell my clients is think about all the steps that go into writing that paper. Let's think about it. So we're going to write a paper. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to choose our topic. We may have to get it approved. That's a step. We're going to do the research and take notes on our topic. We're going to make our outline, write a rough draft, submit that rough draft for feedback. We're going to write our final draft, but we're still not done because we need to write the bibliography and create the cover page. That's a lot of steps. But once you see all those steps, you can take each of those steps and put them as their own homework assignment. So for example, if my paper is due in 2 weeks, perhaps the day before it's due, that's when I write as my homework assignment, I need to create the cover page. And maybe 2 days before it's due, I'm writing the bibliography. So I'm working backwards in my planner to write individual homework assignments related to the larger homework assignment of writing a paper. And that way I don't fall into the trap of, oh no, this paper's due in 2 days or maybe even tomorrow, and I totally forgot about it, because that's not going to set you up for success to try to write a whole paper in one night. Trust me, I did that more than once as I was learning about how to be better organized at school. And then we turn in the assignment, of course. All right. Let's talk about some helpful homework habits. When you're in middle school or high school, you should anticipate at least 2 hours of homework per night. Now, granted, this is going to vary depending on what kind of school you're at and what the expectations of the teachers are. But if we take that as our formula, then the ideal homework time during the week, when I say during the week, I mean Monday through Thursday, and then the weekend would be Friday through Sunday. But during the weekdays, the ideal homework time would be from 4 to 6:30. Now, I know that some students have after-school activities that prevent them from doing their homework right away. But I also know there are some students who are able to do some homework while they're still in school. So take this for what you will. But why did I block out 2.5 hours when I said to work on it for 2 hours? Because you want to plan on studying and doing your homework for about 30 minutes at a time, with a 10-minute break in between those half hours. This is related to the Pomodoro technique, which I've mentioned in previous videos. So that 10-minute break really needs to be 10 minutes. So you may need to set a timer so that you don't abuse the 10 minutes. But when you are taking a 10-minute break, this is not 10-minute break, grab your phone. This is 10-minute break, go get a drink, go take a walk around, go to the bathroom, stretch, that kind of break. And then on the weekend, which is Friday through Sunday, you want to schedule 2 times that you're going to do a 2-hour block of homework, ideally on different days. Not, I'm going to do Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon, but maybe you say, I'm going to do Friday evening and Sunday morning, because that's going to give you one whole day over the weekend where no homework. So think about that. And obviously, like I said, you've got your different after-school activities. You may have dance class, you may have guitar lessons, you may have an after-school job, but keep in mind that you are trying to look for a 2-hour block of time to do your homework. Here's some more helpful homework habits. Number one, put your phone away. I know this is going to really ramp up some of my students when we say this, especially I'll get the pushback of, but I need my phone to look things up. Well, a lot of students do have other ways to look things up. They may have a computer, laptop, iPad, different ways to do that. The problem with the phone is, or a watch, is that you're constantly getting notifications. And you may think, oh, it's okay, it's just for a second, I just glance at it and then it's done. But every time you check a notification, it is pulling your focus. And it can take several minutes to get back into something. If you were reading a chapter, if you were working on a math problem, and you're like, where was I? Let me reread this part again. And before you have a chance to get back into it, another notification goes off. So I really encourage you to put your phone in a different room. Okay, not even it's in my pocket, because you could still feel the vibration or hear the noise from the notification or see the flash. Just put it away. Try it for a week and see if it doesn't help you. Here's the other thing I get from students all the time. I'm spending hours and hours and hours doing my homework, and I'm not getting it finished. This could be the reason. You don't realize how many times you are being pulled from what you're doing to look at a notification on your phone, or to answer your phone, or to talk to somebody. So try putting it away for a week and see. I can almost guarantee you're going to see right away, oh my goodness, I got my homework done so much faster today. I wonder why. Switch it up. So one of the things that happened to me a lot when I was a student is I would get fixated on something I was doing. I was trying to read something and I was struggling to read it, or I was trying to do a math problem and I just didn't understand it. And I would sit there and sit there and sit there and get this anxiety built up and just feel like I was stuck. So if you are spending too much time on one type of homework and you have homework for more than one class, which, let's face it, that is usually the case, switch it up. Put the book down and say, you know what, I'm going to switch over to math for a minute, or put the math equation away and say, I'm going to work on reading this chapter, and then come back to it. And you might find that it's easier the next time you go back to it. Move around. So one of the things I recommend for students is If you have a special place you like to do your homework, you may have more than one place. Maybe you like to read things on your bed. Maybe you like to sit at the dining room table. Maybe you like to sit in the living room. Try different spots. If you like to sit at the dining room table, for example, you can designate different seats around the table for different subjects. And so as you do a different homework, move around, get a change of scenery, even if it's just a different spot at the same table. It can help you be more energized to work on another type of homework. Time your breaks. We talked about that earlier. When you're going to take a 10-minute break, set a timer and make sure that when the break is over, you go back to what you were doing. And work ahead for cushion time. So we talked about this in our last video. If you know that on Wednesday night, you're going to have a lot of homework because you're studying for a test that's on Friday, but you also know that you've got 3 activities after school, you may want to start studying for your test a day earlier on Tuesday. You may want to start making your note cards to quiz yourself, or you may want to read a couple chapters ahead because you know on Wednesday night you may not have as much time to read. So this is why having a planner is helpful, because you could see the whole week at a glance and you know which days you have some extra time. And when you have extra time, work ahead, because then when you have a night where, oh my gosh, I have no time, it's okay because you worked ahead. Here's a couple books that are designed for teenagers to read. They're also great for parents. For middle school or high school, this book on the left called Where's My Stuff? It's got a lot of pictures and cartoons and graphics, and some words, but it's a real easy read. It's very helpful. And as they say, it's the ultimate teen organizing guide. And on the right is another book called How to Do It Now, because it's not going away. This is written by Leslie Giselle, who also created the planner that I talked about in their previous video, part 3. This book is geared for a little bit of an older student. So if you are in high school or even college, there is a little bit of language because there are some quotes from actual teenagers. So be prepared, but it's a great book about getting things done in a timely manner. So that's the end of our 4-part series on Succeed at School, getting organized for a new school year. I hope you found it helpful. I would love to hear from you in the comments on how you are doing with your school year. I encourage you to visit organizingmagic.com for more organizing resources, including our free e-newsletter and information about our monthly Zoom webinars, which are also free. And remember that new videos drop every Friday, so be in the know and click like and subscribe before you go, so you never miss a single video. I'll see you next time.